So starting in your crocodile, I'm going to come around and I'm going to bring your second blanket. Yours might already be there, but some of you would maybe like it placed as a roll underneath your ankles. And it can be a long roll or a semi-wide roll like this. So it's just kind of up to you and how your ankles are going to feel. So I'll show you what it looks like, and then you can tell me if you want me to do it. And so once I elevate the ankles, you can go wider if you feel like your inner edges of your feet actually touch your mat. Mine don't. So that's part of the elevation. And that blanket can also move, or you can bring, I can bring the blanket back underneath the ankles, but also the forehead can come to a block. So we are recording the class. You guys look like your ankles are great. Does anybody want the blanket underneath their ankles? So we'll give it a try. Sometimes there's sensitivity. I'm coming, I'm right behind you. Yay, nay? Yeah. Okay. And sometimes depending on the, oh wow, I just fish flopped down after that, recording this one too. Sometimes when you have too many props under your pelvis, it prevents the inner thighs, the ankles, from connecting to the earth. So wherever your forehead decides to fall today, we'll begin to make the connection between the forehead and the earth below. And we'll start to notice the quality of our breath. And we're just observing. We're observing the quality of our breath, the depth to the breath, the quality of our thoughts, and as you settle into the posture, looking at your emotions, and coming from that observer standpoint in your yin centering pose. My hopes is in your yin practice that when we come into the postures today, that you feel like you can come into them slowly and gently, and let your body begin to take the shape of the posture's name. And in your mind and in your eyes, when we think about the depth of how far we should go into something, let's try not to follow a particular picture or image of what we should do or how far we should go. Maybe we tonight intend to pause frequently, to listen to our bodies, and wait for the mind to tell the body whether or not it feels right to go deeper. Knowing that when you find your limit, it actually doesn't mean that you pushed so hard to get here. Yin is a little different. Bless you. So finding your mild edge tonight, letting yourself just decide. What is right for me? What does this feel like? And how far would I really like to go? Breathing in tonight for feelings of peace. And as you exhale, breathing out for feelings of relaxation. From crocodile, on your next exhale, let's bring the big toes to touch, almost creating that diamond shape with our feet. And then we'll bend to the knees, and we'll begin to curl the toes under, lifting the shins off the mat, pressing the energy of the body out of your heels. And we'll slowly press those knees down into the mat. Let the hands come underneath the shoulders. Press yourself away from your prop setup. Moving your block off to the side. Moving your bolster off to the side. And then take your blanket the width of your mat. Letting yourself come into tabletop. And we'll allow the feet to be the distance of our hips, knees, hips distance apart, and same with the hands. Slowly begin to round through your spine. Draw your chin towards your chest. Navel draws up and in. And as you look back between your knees, making sure your feet are hiding, press down into the hands, press down into the shins. Begin to arch your spine, lift your head. Coming into that sway back pose. And again, moving, blinking movement with breath, transitioning between cat and cow for the next 6 to 8 cycles of breath. Let's breathe through the nostrils. And after your 6th to 8th breath cycle, pause in neutral spine, draw your belly into your body, and let's bring the big toes to touch as we widen the knees. And we'll let that left hand come to the center of the mat as that right arm reaches up. So as we're coming across, down and across, we're gonna press the left hand down into the mat, slide the right arm underneath the left, and we're gonna come down to the right temple, coming down to the cheek, the right shoulder, as well as the back of the right hand presses down into the mat. We can use that left arm if we like to press firmly into the carpet or the mat, feeling maybe the shoulder blades come together. You also have that option to walk the left hand out in front of the shoulder. You can use a block as well to anchor that left arm. You can also press the palms together, drawing the left arm further than the right. And if it feels more comfortable for you, you can take this into a half bind, bringing that left hand over to the right hip. When you're ready to come out of the pose, let's bring the left hand under the shoulder. Press your left palm down into the mat. Lift your right arm up into that extension. And we'll come back into tabletop. This time bringing the right palm to the center of the mat. Inhale, lifting that left arm up. And slowly glide that left arm underneath your right as you come down to the temple, the side of the arm, the elbow. You can press that right hand next to your face down into the mat. You can also stack the palms. You can also bring the left hand in front of the shoulder. I'm sorry, you can also bring that right hand in front of your shoulder. To anchor my body tonight, I'm going to use the right hand to clasp the front short edge of my mat and pull forward so that I have almost a grounding stretch here where the right hand is keeping me in place and the back of the left hand is relaxing. We'll let the eyes soften and rest. Breathing into the body. Slowly continuing to follow your breath. We'll bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Press your palm into your mat as you activate your shoulder blade. Lift your left arm up. Come into a table. Slowly bring your knees underneath your hips. Tuck your toes under and sit back towards your heels, coming into Virasana or hero pose. Bring those baby toes forward. And let yourself just notice the flow of energy, chi in your body. If at any time it feels uncomfortable for you to sit on your heels with your toes tucked under, you can rest the tops of your feet. Maybe take it into a gentle wrist stretch here with the fingertips moving towards the knees. Breathing into your body, we'll slowly lower those hips towards the heels. And we're going to take our bolster and let the bolster rest between the upper thighs. You have the option to elevate the head of that bolster for child's pose. And as your hips sink back towards your heels, you're going to rest onto your left cheek. Coming into child's pose for a supportive rest. Eyes become soft. And our body becomes heavy and still. We'll stay in our child's pose for several minutes. And about halfway through, we'll offer the option to move the bolster off to the side. Slowly letting yourself rock over to the other side now, bringing the right cheek down towards your bolster setup. Continuing to let the hips move back towards the heels. Feeling the temperature of the air in your nostrils. Finding the coolest point and the warmest point of both the in and the out breath. Letting your practice tonight feel warm and contemplative. Tonight's sequence is targeting both the upper and the lower back. And as your mind slowly begins to relax, breathe down into the area that feels tight. We're working to target some of those deeper tissues within the body. We've got about 2 minutes left in our posture. If for child's pose, you'd like to involve your digestive fire, your digestive system, you can press your palms down into the mat, moving the round or rectangular bolster away from you, and bring your knees closer together so that your abdomen can compress against the thighs. Bring our forehead down to the earth. And we'll allow the arms to either extend out in front or connecting hands closer towards the ankles and feet. Letting that lower lumbar spine release. And if you'd like a sandbag placed for the last 2 minutes on your lumbar spine, just give me a little wave. We've got 1 more minute left in our practice. In this particular pose. When we practice yin style practices, there's quite a bit of a science behind the benefits. One of the most important things that shows up for me in the yin practices is the reduction of inflammation. Starts to lower inflammation in our body, but with the connectedness from the body and the mind, we notice that rumination tends to be eliminated. And so that mental distress, worry, mental looping is lowered. And some of the new research around this particular style of yoga suggests that there is an increase of gray matter in the brain, which is responsible for our executive functioning. So as we try out many different styles of practices, exercises through the course of our life, we let ourselves gravitate towards connect to those styles that serve us for what we need in our different changing needs of life. So when you're ready to come out of your child's pose, we're slowly going to allow ourselves to come back into tabletop. And you'll come and grab your sandbag off your back. And we're going to make our way into downward facing dog. We're going to use down dog as a transitional pose. We're going to transition from downward facing dog into standing forward bend. When you're standing forward bend tonight, your forward fold, you can slowly, mindfully walk to the front of your mat, letting yourself dangle, hanging from the hips. We're going to want to bend through the knees and slowly begin to hold on to opposite elbow crease. You can even use this particular posture to help further withdraw the senses. So as the upper arms run parallel to the ears, you may notice the comforting sensation of the arms hugging the ears, noticing the eyes softening. You can let yourself sway. You can sway from left and right, side to side if you want. We're going to relax the head and the shoulders. Typically, dangling in yin is held for about 1 minute. The body tells you in yin, this is enough. Thank you. You can allow yourself to come down to the mat. You need a support as gravity is pulling you down. You can hold on to a block. You can also choose to move the block over to the right, making it a gentle lateral side bending stretch. Good, bend deep into the knees. Letting the glutes release. Letting the tailbone point down towards the earth. And moving your block over to the left. When you feel ready, you can transition back into your downward dog. From your downward facing dog, you'll slowly begin to drop down to the knees. We're going to allow ourselves to crawl forward, dropping the hips to one side and extend the legs out in front. Moving the flesh from your sit bone, we'll turn the sit bone flesh upwards. And we're going to separate the feet now so that the feet are open hips distance. I'm going to take our rectangular or round bolster, whatever feels right for you. And we're going to hold that bolster very close to the hips, rounding through the spine, through the lower back, and letting the hands come to the outer edges of our feet or our shins. You can play with your blocks position. Sometimes 2 blocks. That's where I up to tonight. It must be a mystery. Underneath your forehead, or even just one on its highest level. Reaching for those feet. And we're going to take 25 breaths now into caterpillar. We're going to figure out together, 25 breaths starting now, how many minutes that is equivalent to. Breathing into your upper body. Breathing into the back of the heart and the back of the lungs.
So 25 yoga breaths is equal to about 1 minute 40 seconds. Now let's release the feet and continue to rest the forehead in front of you on the prop, letting those forearms drop next to the outer edges of your knees. Really drop the elbows down towards the mat. We're working to release the lower lumbar spine. So here, working towards the lower part of our back to release. And at home, continue to deepen your personal home practices. Even considering taking a pillow and folding that pillow in half and bringing that pillow to support your torso and the tops of your thighs as you come into that forward bending posture. Slowly let yourself unfurl your spine. Rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. And let's place the bolster behind our back. So I'm going to show you two variations. There's the variation that I like with the bolster. You can bring your backside just on top of the edge of that rectangular bolster. We're going to bend through the knees, so counter stretch to the forward bend is a back bending position. We're going to puff out the chest, and we're going to extend the legs out in front. We're going to slowly drop the forearms down to the earth. We're going to drop the head off the bolster in a supported fish. Personally, I do not like the bolster if I want to go deeper into the pose, but it's an excellent entry to move deeper. Variation number 2. You can move that bolster off to the side, bringing those hands underneath your glutes with the fingers pressing towards the heels. Bend through the knees as you roll over your hands. And that heart is lifted. You can extend your feet up if you feel like you can endure a 2-minute posture that way. Your forearms are supporting you. Your head can also come to a block. So supported fish or reclined fish. This posture can also be done with your feet in lotus pose. We're working to move towards the top of the crown of the head. remembering you want that heart opener. And if you feel like your bolster is too flat for that heart opener, roll off of it and bring your block between your shoulder blades. That block comes between the shoulder blades. You can keep your knees bent. Stay here a while as you start to maybe use the soles of your feet to start to help you open the hollow of your throat and your upper back so that the crown of the head can start to begin to come down towards the mat. Now, if that's too drastic of a drop behind you for your neck, you can grab your blanket, fold it in half, and place it under your head. So really letting these practices become, while they're not therapeutic yoga and they're not restorative yoga, they could have very similar feelings. Both restorative and yin poses are passive. A lot of times our restorative poses are held quite a bit longer. Letting yourself connect to fish here any way you'd like. Letting yourself connect in this moment now. The deep appreciation and flow within you and the world around you. Let yourself this evening disconnect from the outer world and reconnect to the inner world within you as you notice your breath pattern. And with our heart vulnerable, this is a perfect opportunity to sink deeper into the earth below you and check in with the state of your emotions. Letting your eyes relax. Letting your breath be calm. And as you check in with your emotions at the level of your heart, making sure that you are not holding on to anything that is bringing tension into your body. Use that exhale to release and deepen your awareness into this present moment.
Continuing to breathe in and out, long and slow, deep breaths. Releasing any scattered thoughts. Slowly releasing once more, letting go and moving deeper. Bringing stillness to your mind. And let your level of awareness sit at the heart center. From here, the knees are in butterfly. Let your knees come together and feel the soles of the feet onto the earth. And if your knees are extended, bending through them, letting yourself gently roll off your bolster setup. I'm just going to roll off to one side. And we're going to let ourselves come on up when we're ready. Sitting tall on the spine. Just take a moment to notice how the body feels. Prana, the chi, throughout your entire being. Letting yourself blink your eyes open. Come back to this present moment. So we have a couple options tonight, and I actually want you to play with it so you know if it's in or out for you. Brand new, no one's ever used them before. You've probably never seen them before unless you've been to a traditional Iyengar practice. And so these actually came from the Iyengar Institute. And you're going, what is she doing? Having me wrap my leg up in an ace bandage? Similar, but they're not. So these are, do you know what they are? They are the Iyengar head wraps. And so everybody who's seen these for the first time absolutely says these are totally ace bandages, but they're not. And so they are a very nice compression to withdraw your senses. So Gabriel sent us like 15 of them. And just for an idea, while they very much look like ace bandages, he paid over $200 for them for us at the studio. But he told me I could be selfish and I could just keep them from when we do class together, which I think I'll do because then I can control washing them in between. And so these would never really have a barrier between your skin because once you see what we're gonna do, you're gonna go, I don't even know how I could have a barrier. So these ones I'll wash and then I'll bring them back to the studio. These here are very similar to the clasps that you would use for your ace bandages. Just put them off to the side for now. And so I want you to start with the bandage itself at forehead. Can't call it that, it's called a head wrap. I'll get better. And then you're gonna move around the head like you're starting to kind of mummify yourself. And then you're gonna move down, and then you're gonna start to withdraw your senses. Some people, my husband, absolutely, and you can use your hand to kind of let your head wrap move down with your hand to kind of frame your head. Some people cannot stand the compression of the eyes. I love it. If you are also like my husband, you would not compress your nose, you can go below your nose, or you can skip your eyes and your nose all together and just bring the compression at the forehead. But really, you will come over your eyes if you feel like that is something you can do. And I personally cannot have my nose or mouth covered. I'd feel like that would be weird. I would feel like a little claustrophobic. But you can come below the nose, cover the mouth, the chin, and you have an entire head. If you are like me and you're okay with a little bit of eye compression, you can kind of feel around that you're 100% in control. If you do not like it at all, you can 100% take it off and move to the side. But the compression against the eyes was the first thing that I noticed that felt so therapeutic to me, like I was being held in time and space. And they're particularly used during Shavasana. And so the point is to kind of know your surroundings as you would draw your senses. You can maybe reach for your round or your rectangular bolster, and you can bring it underneath your knees like you normally would in Shavasana. Reach around for where the heck did you put your blanket. And this is where your blanket folding comes into handy. You can't really use your senses. You have to use, well, one of them, touch. And then you can place that blanket underneath your head to prop your head up. I did a fold in half and then let myself lay down on my mat and turn the backs of the hands to the mat and just kind of take in that compression. At any point, if the head wrap starts to make you feel claustrophobic, you can remove it. I'll also send you a video of the way that it would fully look if you were to do a full head wrap. Also avoiding the eyes and then also avoiding the nose. So as you settle down into your space, going to bring the warm eye pillows tonight over to our ankles. Maybe even your feet. And give you a gentle compression of the ankles, of the feet. Slowly let the outer edges of your feet drift away from the middle if you'd like. And tonight, as you come to the end of your practice, Shavasana being our beautiful release. We'll continue to allow anything positive or negative going on in our mind and our body to surface. And we're going to imagine tonight a bright green light beginning to glow beneath the surface of our skin, glowing inward towards our heart center. And with your eyes themselves withdrawn or compressed, see this light in your mind's eye. What does it look like? Beginning to describe the feeling to yourself mentally. This energy light is full of compassion. And imagining that green glow of compassion flowing all through the channels, the blood vessels, and the cells of your body into your heart, cleansing you and healing you, offering compassion to each part of you that your healing light touches. And shining this light on any old hurts, resolving any past grudges, clearing away anything that brings heaviness to your heart. And as the light does its healing work, bring your mind to the beautiful sensations that this green hue inspires within you. The deep renewal, the freshness, like new spring buds shooting up through the soil. Breathing in the aroma and breathing in the harmony that this green light brings to you. Within the next few breaths, holding this color deep into your lungs and heart, feeling grateful for its presence, breathing in harmony, healing, balance, rejuvenation, and peace. Now envision a gold light circling around your heart, swirling through the green color, and taking a moment to connect with the gold. Seeing it glow from your chest and spreading throughout your body. Your gold healing light inspires gratitude in your heart, and carrying gratitude to every part of you, saturating both the body and the mind. Feeling the gold working with the green to heal all parts of your heart, relieving any heaviness, infusing your heart with courage and strength. And imagining this gold light becoming more rich and vibrant with each inhale and each exhale, going deeper into the heart and feeling it flow through your chest and your lungs. Using the breath in this visualization to reach the desired state of open-heartedness. As you connect with this awareness, taking note of how you feel right now, holding your hands inward with that gentle curl, and maybe taking your arms up to your heart. Perhaps connecting to your heartbeat and your heart rhythm. Releasing the colors now and letting the gold fade into white and letting the green fade into gold. Slowly release as you allow all of the colors to disappear. Letting yourself remain open. And slowly coming back to this present moment. And coming back to your body on the earth and the mat below you. Find that you have a bolster under your knees. You can slowly bend through your knees and bring your feet to the tops of the bolster. And kick it away from you if that feels right. And let yourself bend through the knees as you roll off to one side. Slowly letting yourself press down into the top arm as you come up. Showing gratitude to your body by bringing your hands to your heart for what it allowed you to do. And we'll slowly begin to tuck the edge of our head wrap and just slowly let yourself take that wrap off, that compression off your eyes. Let it move off to the side. And we'll take a few deep breaths in as we let the prana and the energy circulate throughout our body. If you'd like, you can join me with hands to heart as you salute the essence of yoga within yourself. Namaste. Yes. Ready for bed.
Okay, you'll link up when we go outside.
So, of course, I have no mindfulness of where I put my head wrap straps, but we'll roll them up and I'll wash these and I'll bring them back. We can have them, our secret prop. Just kind of thinking out of curiosity for yourselves what that initial experience felt like when you first took away your eyesight and how you feel about it now. Anxiety. And as you sat with that, kind of recognizing safety within yourself and your own ability to choose to keep it or leave it, did anything shift? Probably a lot. I'm not yet at that stage where I feel like I could cover here and just have the nose out. I'm happy with the compression, the top part.
We have so much trauma from COVID.
Maybe that's part of
And
it.
just the way you put it up there, I was like, oh, there's a mask for you.
I did put it over my mouth,
Oh,
my nose only.
what did you think?
I felt like a mummy, but it wasn't bad. Although I think I should have wrapped it one more time around my eyes because I had more compression over my mouth than I did around my eyes. So I thought, oh, next time.
Yep, and you
Right.
can change it. Like if you feel something you don't like, you can change it. But I don't know, I love that. It almost feels like a pressure reliever, which obviously we could use this in conjunction with headache, sinus pressure relief. To fully take all of that away and really just focus on this guy, what an amazing tool. So when you go home and your partners ask you why you went to the store and bought an ace bandage and they find you laying in your bed like a mummy, you just say yoga.
Just be like, can you just text Tracy? She'll describe it so much better than I can. Tracy's gonna get these random text messages like, what did you do to my spouse?